back to my channel. So in this video I want to show you guys how to make this. So I'm going to be making it for someone. So and guys, it will be better for you to use a princess dart. If you would like to know how to cut a princess dart, I'm going to link it, but I'm not going to be using a princess dart here. I'm just going to use a basic dart. But if you want it to look exactly like her own with the same bodice fitting, I would advise you use princess dart for yours. So I'm going to just start with her shoulder divided by 2. So the width of this fabric here, you'll notice that I have this one here, and then I have this one. This is also like 2-piece here for the back, and then I have this other one, but this one here is on a fold like this, 1 piece but folded into 2 here. So the width of this upper one here is just her bust divided by 4 plus 1. That is the width. So if her bust is 44, divided by 4 plus 1 is going to be divided by 4 is 11 plus 1 is 12. So the width of this is 12, and then the back panel has an extension of 1 inch. So I'm going to go over to the shoulder here and insert shoulder measurement divided by 2, mark it here, and then I'm going to come down 1 inch of shoulder slope. I'm just going to draw in a basic bodice here, armhole divided by 2 at 9 here, and then I'm going to extend this all the way to the top here. Mark the neckline. So guys, the focus of this video is going to be mostly the neckline. So after that, I'm going to connect the shoulder slope here, and then the length here, her shoulder to her waist is 17.5, but I added 1 inch here because I'm going to use half an inch to join the shoulder, half an inch to join the bottom part. So that's why I have 18.5 at the moment, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and mark for the waist. I'm going to mark her waist divided by 4, which is going to be 9. And then I'm going to add 2 inches here, which is going to be for the dart and the 1 inch of darting and 1 inch of seam allowance. After that, I'm going to also come up to the waist, like I said, mark her waist measurement divided by 4, 11, and then plus 1 inch of sewing. And then I'm going to connect the two together from here. So cut from here all the way out to the shoulder. Guys, once it's done, I'm going to mark 3 inch for the neck. And then I'm also going to go ahead and cut it off. Line here of this front here, I'm going to do her nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is going to be 4.5. Mark it here. And then I'm also going to go ahead and mark from the shoulder to the nipple line, which is at 12 here. So my dart in front is going to end at 13. Connect it all the way to the top here. But the dart at the back is going to end here. The same line where this is, but it's going to end at the armhole line. That's the chest line. That's where the dart for the back is going to be. Around, it will go all the way up to this point. And remember, you're going to mark half an inch on this side, half an inch on this side, and then connect the two together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and also notch this here, because I'm going to be marking my dart. Remember, it's going to be half an inch here, half an inch here. And then go ahead and mark 1 inch at the bottom part here. And then I'm going to connect from here to this end here. This will help my flame not to drop at the back, because remember, your back length is shorter. So I'm going to connect it all the way to the end here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this bit out. So guys, we finished the back. I'm going to set it aside. And then for the front, the next thing we're going to do is from the tip of this neckline here, you're going to come down where you want it to be. So you can decide to do from this point to like 8.5. It depends on you how you want yours to be. And then, or you can do to 9. It depends on you. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it from here now all the way to this point, just like that. So now that is done, I'm going to go ahead and cut this part here. You can even do up to 10 inches. It depends on you. Just measure on your body where you want yours to stop, and then you're going to mark it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this here. And then on the armhole, I'm going to go in by like half an inch here, by the armhole like this, and then I'm going to cut this piece out. So guys, this is it here. This is done. So now what I'm going to do is take the 2 back panels like this. Sorry, you can go ahead at this point and trace out your lining for it. I'm going to just take mine the way it is now, the 2 back panel, and then I'm going to join it shoulder to shoulder. So I'm going to join this shoulder here, join this shoulder here, and then we'll come back together. So I'm going to just go ahead, fold it into 2 like this now. Fold it back into 2, because we're about to trace the neckline. So you're going to, if you want, you can even iron it so it will lay flat like this, right? And then the next thing you're going to do is to take the fabric. I'm trying to decide if I should use blue or if I should use the green, but this is the doll face satin. So what I'm going to do, or bridal satin, so that is what I'm using here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the one that will be enough. So I think this might be enough. So what I'm going to do is just place this like this. You see how I place this here? This is on this. I have 2 pieces of this one here, 2 pieces of this satin here. So what you need is just to make sure that this is laying flat. You see how I make sure that this one is straight, but this other one here is the one that is angled. The back is angled, but the front part, I make sure to keep it straight on this here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it like this so I will not confuse you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and trace out this neck here that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this out like this. And then once I do that, I'm also going to go ahead and from here now, I'm going to mark it so I know where the center of this is, like this. And then I'm also going to try to like raise it up, but I'm going to just mark where the end of this is, like this. You see where the end is. The reason I'm using the end here, I'm not going in by ½ inch is because remember, ½ inch of this is going into your shoulder. ½ inch from this one is going into my sleeve. ½ inch of this one is going to be turned with line. Next thing I'm going to do is just mark this the way it is, like this, a little bit, like come down a little. Don't go all the way through the armhole. Just still maintain that straight line, like at least ½ inch from the front down. And then from the back, it's now towards the back. From here, I'm going to just try to curve it towards the back, like this. So now that I've done this, the next thing I'm going to do, let's just leave the back for now. Let's leave the back for now. What I'm going to do next is, I'm going to, if you look at her own, you will see that the tail of this neckline came down almost to her waist. So let's say almost to her under bust. And this person's shoulder to under bust is at 15. So I'm going to measure shoulder to under bust, which is at 15 here, somewhere down here, right? That's where the tip of the collar is. So now that I've marked it, what I'm going to do next is, so I'm going to make sure that this goes down straight like this, all the way. Keep your hand straight, guys, like this. And then from the center of this collar here, from the center of this neckline here, let me put it back so you see. So you see what we did here? We measured from the shoulder to make sure that we meet wherever you want the length of this to be. And then that straight line that we'll be marking, since we still maintained it all the way down, that's the straight line from the armhole here. We maintained it straight down and came down here. And then from the center of the neckline, after we've marked the V, we mark the center part here going down. But we're not going to go down straight on this side. What we're going to do for this side is that we are going to curve it. So from the point where this is, you see, it went like this, like, okay, let me turn it. You see, it went like a V-neck and then came down straight. So from the point, this angle here, this point here, what we're going to do is we're going to angle it towards this direction. You can come down like ½ inch first, like this is the line where you're supposed to stop here. Just connect it to the tip here, just like that. I'm going to also go back and watch the video again just to be sure that this is exactly how her own is, right? And remember, we're cutting 2 at a time. Now that I've done this like this, this is going to be my collar here. And then for the back, the same thing. Let me put this down again so you see. I'm going to put this back down. For the back, what we're going to do is this same neckline that we've marked here, we're also going to mark this side of it. We're tracing this piece here again on the back, like just like we traced this one. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to just remove the entire thing, and like we're going to do about 3 inches here or 3.5, depending on you. 3.5 is okay. And then you're just going to circle it back this way, all the way, and that is it. Blend it into this part here, and this is your collar. So this here is going to form our collar all the way down. Like, guys, I just watched the video again. Her own came down even more, so it's almost at the waist, the tip of this. So I'm just going to bring down mine like 1 more inch down here. So instead of using my under bust, I just came down like 1 inch after my under bust, and then I'm going to roll this line over again. So you see, so what we're going to do is to just go ahead and cut. So we're going to go ahead, cut from this point here, cut out all the way here. And guys, before you cut, try to know where this center back is, like the part of the where the shoulder from the front to the back, where they meet each other. So I'm going to try to notch it. So let me go ahead and mark it with chalk first, so that you see. So now I know this is where the back starts, this is where the front starts. So I need to know this part here. So now let me go ahead and cut every other thing out. See, our collar is ready. So now let me open up this here so that we'll see what it will look like if we place it. So if it's like this now, right, and we want to place this here, so it's going to look something like this. So from this side of the collar here, so guys, you see, so to this point here, and then this part is going to just drop. You're going to go ahead and trace out this also on a lining. And when you trace it out on a lining, let's say you traced it out on a lining now, because you have two pieces here. So let's say this one is my lining. What I'm going to do is just take one of it like this. So let's say this is the lining and this is my doll face, right? I'm going to just take the lining, place it on top of it like this. So this is the lining. You see, my right side is facing inside here. The right side of my lining is facing each other. Right side, right side. What I'm going to do is just take it here. I'm going to start from the end here, sew it all the way. So this is the part you're going to sew. The part you're going to sew, I'm going to mark it with chalk. So start from this end here, sew it all the way around. Guys, pin it down so it doesn't move. All the way down like this. Get to this point, and then you're also going to come back up here, sew it down all the way to this point, and then notch it here so that you can still get that pointy edge here. And once you're done, flip it open from this part here. So all this here, this part that I did not mark with chalk will be open, because this end here is entering into our zipper. This part here is entering into the zipper. This one is going to be attached to the collar. This one is attached to the collar. This is attached to the V neckline in front. This is where our shoulder starts, right? So you're going to sew from here all the way down, come back up again with your lining. Once you're done, go ahead, take it like this, flip it out. So guys, this is it here. Like I said, you're going to use your lining to turn it. You see, I use lining to turn it all the way from this edge here, all the way went down to the tip here, and then came back up and stopped here. You see, this part here, all this center part here, it's open from this point here to this point. So guys, what you're supposed to do, remember, like I said when I was cutting this, you're going to cut your lining, right? You're going to cut lining like how this your main cloth is. If it's princess that you use, cut lining like that too. Join it at the shoulder point here like this. So now at this point, what you're supposed to do is just take the lining and place it over again. You see how this is? So just like how this one is underneath it, you're going to take your lining, place it over on top of this like this. The back will be on this side, the back of the lining will be on this side, the front of the lining will be on this side. This is the only thing at the center. And if you see, I place this the way it's going to be on the cloth, right? It's facing the right side. The right side is on top, the lining is behind. That is how you're going to place it. Make sure that the V is pointed towards the center. Everything is perfect. And then just take your lining the way you want it. The wrong side of your lining will be at the top. The right side of your lining will be facing this. And then once you do that, take your sewing, go to sewing machine and sew it from here all the way on top of the lining. Come back down, cross over like this, and then once you finish that, tuck in the lining inside it. You understand? So, and then the wrong side of this is facing the table. The wrong side of my lining will be facing me. And then you sew all the way, come back here, and then just take the line and flip it in. But guys, this fabric here is very heavy. So I don't want to, and it's not even breathable. So I don't want to use lining to finish it. So I don't want it to be too heavy. The bottom is circle, and then the sleeve is also heavy. So the person doesn't want too much lining. So let me use bias to turn my own over. But I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Just know that the way you place this here is the way you're going to top it up on this one. Sew it here, tuck the lining in. This is going to be by the center. So let me use bias and just sew my own all the way around. If you want to use bias like me, take your bias tape, sew it all the way like this. And once you get to the other end here, you're going to flip it in like this, But instead of sewing at the top of this here, you're going to sew underneath it. You understand? You're going to raise this up like this and sew under it. So that way there will not be any seam on top of this. So guys, you see what I was saying? This is how I joined it. So you're going to make your stitch under the collar, like on this side of the cloth, you see? That is how I did it. So you see, there's no stitch on top of this. I've not ironed it, but if I iron it now, it's going to lay flat, and my bias will be hidden underneath it like this. You see? So you're going to make the stitch. If you decide to use bias, you're going to stitch it under. Don't go and stitch it on top like this. So once you take the bias, fold it in, raise this part up immediately and start sewing from under it and go round all the way to the other side. And then I'll have the rest of the button down here, like up to 4 buttons. So but that aside, the next thing is going to be to cut the circle part. So guys, it depends on you what you want to do. You can cut, the one on the video is like, I think it's 360 or 720. I can still make a tutorial on how to cut that type of circle. I think I'm going to try to get the tutorials out so that you guys will know how to cut that type of circle. But basically, it depends on you, the type of circle you want to use for yours. You can use half a circle, full circle, or 360 circle. So for this one here, if you decide to do 360 circle, that is a full circle, you're just going to go ahead. You see what I'm doing here? My fabric, the way it comes, you know how Akara comes like this, folded into 2, touching the edge like this. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold it into 4. So guys, this is what you're going to do. So like I said, you're going to take your Akara fabric, the way the Akara comes this way, fold it into 2 like this, and then once you folded it into 2, you see the 2 edges are meeting here. Now you're going to take it now and then fold it into 4 like this, enough to be able to contain the length of your skirt. You understand, the length of your skirt. So but if you look at it, you see that one part of my skirt, the length can it can contain on this side, but if you notice, you see that this part is shorter. So if you're going to work with this, you're going to go back in and add fabric to complete the length. Like whatever you decide to do, the length, because this is going to be too short, and the dress, if you look at it, you see is below the knee. So that means you're going to still need to go back in here and join in your fabric. So let's say you decide to do divided by 4. All you have to do here is just to go ahead. The waist you're working with, so like I said before, her waist is about 36. So 36, if you want to have pocket, because let's say this is your waist now, round your waist. If you decide to add pocket to the 2 sides, that will be one seam coming from the front, one seam coming from the back, one seam coming from the front, one seam coming from the back, one side of the back for the zipper, one side. So this is the front, this is the back. So these are the sides, right? So you're going to need 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, and 6 inches added to your waist. You understand? Because you're going to be closing up the side so that you can put in a pocket here, put in a pocket here, and the one at the back is for your zipper. So let's say your waist is 36, you're going to add 6 to it before you start to cut it, because that way you're going to be splitting this fabric into 2, and then one piece of it you split it into 2 for the back panel. You understand? So now what you're going to do, so let's say I decide to just work with my 36. I don't want pocket. I'm going to just add 2 inches to it, which is just the one for the back. Remember, this is our back, just for the zipper allowance at the back. So that will be 38. So this 38 now, you're going to divide it by 6.28. 6.28 is a constant. It doesn't matter who you're cutting it for, a child, anybody. As long as you're cutting a full circle, you're going to do 6.28. So this measurement divided by 6.28, whatever you get is what you're going to use to mark the first waist of your circle. So guys, what I got is 6 inches. So you're going to go ahead and mark 6 from this point here all the way like this. Mark 6 like from here. You see, I've marked 6. So this part here is now the waist. The next measurement you're going to need here is the length of your skirt, right? Remember how we got this 6 is our waist measurement plus our seam allowance divided by 6.28. That's how we got the waist. How you're going to get the length of the skirt part is going to be the length you want the dress to be. So I want it to be 42. That's from the shoulder to just below the knee, minus her half length, which is 17.5. Right? If I minus this from this, what I'll have is 24.5. So this is going to be the length of the skirt. But remember, you still need 1 inch of folding the end and half an inch of joining the waist part. So that will be plus 1.5. If you add this together, you're going to be left with 6. Right? You're going to be left with 26. So that 26 is now going to be the length of this skirt part. You understand? So 26 will be the length of your skirt part. So now what you're going to do is just place your tape back again, and then you're going to make sure that that 26 inches plus this 6 inches can fit in here. So that's about 32 in total. You understand? So these 6 inches that we're still going to cut off, and then the 32 that we need for the 26 that we need for the length of the skirt. If you see it here, you see 26. The tape is right on 26 here. So that is what you need. So but the total of the whole measurement which will help me to be able to calculate everything, is 32. So all you have to do is just place your tape at this point here, and then just keep moving it out all the way around here and keep marking the 32. But you will notice that when you come to this part here, 32 will not fit in. Starting from somewhere down here, the 32 is now starting to miss. So you're going to just cut out what you can be able to cut out, and then you're going to go back in and add a fabric to the end. Like, add enough that will be able to contain the measurement that you need, and then go back in again. If once you join it, go back in again, and then you can just place your fabric this way. You can just turn it over this way. That way you can use whatever, like it will look like this. Let's say it looks something like this when you finish trimming it out, right? It will look something like this. I hope you can see my chalk. So once you join the excess fabric at the end and come back again, you just know that all you have to trim is use this line as your landmark to cut off the rest, right? So now the extended fabric will be cut off at this point, and then you have your full circle. And then all you have to do is just to cut off this part here, go ahead and open up one side, because you're not using pocket. If you're using pocket, you have to cut it twice, you understand? So now what I'm going to do is just to cut half a circle for her, because I'm not doing full circle for her. All I did was just to fold the fabric into two. You see, this is just folded into two. The way Akara comes, just straight like that, folded into two. You see the end here is on a fold. All I'm going to do here is just to go to one corner here. I already know the waist I'm working with, which is my 36 normal waist plus 2 inches of zipper allowance, 1 inch on each side of the zip. So that is going to be 38. And then this 38, I'm going to, for half a circle, you're going to divide by 3.14 on a fold of 2. For full circle, you're going to divide by 6.28, which is going to be times 2 of that, and then folded on 4. You understand? So if I divide this by 3.14, what I'm going to have is about 12.1. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 12.1 all the way from this point here, just like that. So guys, the next thing is going to be the length of the skirt. Like we said before, if I subtract my shoulder to waist from the whole length, I'm going to be left with about 20. I'm going to be left with 26, right? So I'm going to make sure that 26 can fit in after the waist. If I cut off the waist now, you see 26 can fit in here. So all I have to do is just to go ahead now, because I don't want to be stretching my hand from this point to this point to this point. So you can also go ahead and just fold your fabric into two like this, and then place your tape here and then mark the 26. But you can't mark 26 now. You're going to mark the 26 plus the 12.5. So that will be about 38.5 for me. So I'm going to place my tape here and mark the measurements all the way down. So guys, all I have to do now, you see the circle skirt is done. So I'm going to just take this here, see, half a circle. This is half a circle here, and this on a fold. So this part with the opening here will be it's going to the back. It's going towards the back. This is where the zipper is coming in, and this will be the center front, the part with the fold. So that's basically it. So this is the skirt. It's okay like that. The girder is still okay. You will see it when I'm done. So now for the sleeve, I'll show you guys the neckline, explain everything. If you'd want to see how the sleeve is made, I think I have other videos on how to get the sleeve, but I can still make a specific video a short video just for the sleeve alone. From this point here, so your armhole divided by 2 plus about 1.5 or so, that's the width here. And then I'm going to come down here by 4 inches down here, and then I'm going to just go ahead and mark from this point here to this point. Find halfway through, give it a curve below and then a curve above. Just the basic sleeve. Come down here, mark your sleeve width down wherever it is, what it's going to be, and then I'm going to connect it like this, and that's it. So I'm going to cut here and then all the way to the top. So guys, this is what we have at the moment, right? So I'm going to all you have to do now at this point is take the sleeve. You see we have 2 of them here, one on this side, one on this side. And then I'm going to take the bottom part, join it to this here, and then I'm going to insert the zip at the back, and that's basically it. So guys, this is it here. You see I went ahead and added button. This is actually a blue button, but I know you might not see it. So basically you're just going to add your button and just tack it down in the center here. Just rule a straight line here and then just put in your button. So this is what the front looks like. You see So this here, once you sew it here, all you have to do is just to stitch everything into your zipper. So you see mine goes right into the zipper here, just like this. So you see when you close it, it closes with the zipper. This is the back here, and then this is the skirt part. You see the flay. So, and yeah, so that's basically it here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Guys, if you want a specific video for the sleeve, I can always get do that for you guys. And yeah, thank you so much, and bye.